Ladies and gents, we're back with Group B. I am stoked. It's been a little bit too long since we did some rally action. You know, it's one of the best. It's one of my favorites. And Group B is the best of the best. This car here might have been one of the reasons Group B came to a halt. This is the history of the Lancia Delta S4, the car that ended Group B. That's the title. This is from a channel called Garage Dreams. Be linked in the description down below so you can check them out further. Here we go, guys.
1983, Lancia and Abarth set out to create a rally car that was like no other before it. It would be perhaps the greatest interpretation of the insane Group B rally regulations of the time, and would ultimately be a major factor in the cancellation of the series. This twin-charged 450 horsepower four-wheel drive monster was, of course,
twin-charged 450 horsepower. I'm loving this animation. So first impressions, the car is awesome. I love 80s like sporty styling. 80s hatchbacks are even better. This is cool. I love like the exhaust and the big mud flaps and just that Group B aesthetic. This is a cool looking car, and this has been under the radar for me in me learning about Group B. I'm really liking this. Let me rewind this just a second.
450 horsepower four-wheel drive monster was of course the Delta S4, the car that changed rallying forever. It would not only become a legend in its own right, but it would also lead to the development of the Delta Integrale, the most successful rally car of all time.
I do love that. I want the road-going version of that car. That would be a dream. That is super cool. So this is kind of the predecessor. That's neat. When he said twin-charged, are we talking about a turbo and a supercharger? My God, Group B was crazy. Freaking crazy, man.
Prior to the 1980s, rally cars were limited to two-wheel drive, and manufacturers such as Lancia, Ford, and Fiat dominated the sport. That all changed when Audi turned up with their four-wheel drive Quattro at the 1980 Yannar Rally.
That's right, the car that changed it all.
The Quattro's four-wheel drive system gave it a unique advantage over its competition, and it would go on to take its first win at the Swedish Rally in 1981.
Wow.
The following year, the FIA introduced a new set of regulations known as Group B. These new regulations meant that rally cars could now be built more powerful, sophisticated, and faster.
Yeah.
With the introduction of Group B regulations, Audi continued to press ahead with the Quattro, while other manufacturers such as Opel, Lancia, Nissan, and Toyota entered cars with a more traditional two-wheel drive layout. The Quattro would go on to win the Constructors' title in the hands of Michel Mouton and Hannu Mikkola. However, Walter Roll and the Opel would claim the Drivers' title. In 1983, Lancia was ready to unleash their rear-wheel drive 037 for a full season. Both the 037 and Quattro received major updates for the year, and the result of this was one of the...
Let's compare. I like that 037 too, so this was even before. Now, that was only two-wheel drive, so rear-wheel drive. It's very light, though, lighter than the Quattro was, and just a tad down on power. 8,000 RPM, I did not know those rev that high. That is very impressive. And, yeah, the Audi being a little heavy. But you know what? In my opinion, that Quattro, while, you know, before everyone else started doing four-wheel drive, that Quattro is hard to beat, man. That car just can dig its way out of anything, whip it into the turns, and it's going to pull you out, right?
The most exciting and memorable rally seasons of all time. By the end of the year, Lancia managed to claim the manufacturer's title by 2 points, while Mikkola and the Quattro won the driver's title. Despite the result, Lancia knew they needed a four-wheel drive car of their own. The company turned to Abarth to create their next rally car, even though they had no prior experience with four-wheel drive systems.
Now, forgive me, I don't know much about Abarth. Is that the same Abarth I'm thinking of, which would be, at least here in the United States, we had like Fiat products with the Abarth moniker on it. They were like very sporty turbocharged models. Don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. That's cool.
Dubbed the SCO38 project, the car would feature a fully tubular space frame construction.
Wow.
And the engine would be mounted in the middle to improve weight distribution.
So this thing's
As
built
Group B regulations had increased rallying's
lots of speed.
popularity immensely, Lancia decided that the new car would be based on the Delta. The Delta was a front-engine, front-wheel drive family car that shared almost nothing in common with the final S4, except for the grille and the front windscreen.
Look at that. Yeah, there you go. That's what's crazy. This was a purpose-built monster then. You could say it's built off of the that civilian car over there, but they don't share barely anything. This is full-on crazy. It's very cool, though. Very cool car.
To complement the new design, Abarth created a new engine that fixed one of the biggest issues with turbocharging technology: lag.
Yeah.
Turbo lag occurs because it takes time for the engine to create enough
Spool
exhaust pressure to spin the turbo and pump compressed air into the engine.
Right.
On the 037, Abarth had opted for a supercharger instead of a turbocharger to fix this issue. However, supercharging comes with its own set of problems as it sucks power from the engine,
Right.
especially higher up the rev range.
That is
What
true.
Abarth did is combine both supercharging and turbocharging into a single system.
Holy smokes.
At low engine speeds,
That's wild.
most of the boost was created by the supercharger.
Right.
In the middle of
Then
the
they
rev
work
range,
together?
both the supercharger and turbocharger produced around the same amount of boost. And as engine speed increased, the turbo took over and the supercharger was bypassed.
Hey, that's not fight about turbos versus superchargers. Why not just have both?
This
That's wild,
twin-charged
man.
system effectively eliminated turbo lag, increased power, and gave much better throttle response on tight, twisty rally stages.
Jeez.
A prototype version of the engine was finished well before the first rolling chassis of the Delta S4 was complete.
Oh, wow.
To test the engine, Abarth created this, a
Ooh,
Frankenstein
I like that.
037 nicknamed Mazinga that could accommodate the
Mazinga?
power plant.
I'll take that one. I'll take the Frankenstein model. I like it.
Lancia claimed
cool.
that the engine produced 450 horsepower.
Damn.
However,
Sounds
many
like it made
rally
more.
insiders believed that it was actually closer to 550.
Right. Yeah, they're
If
underrating
this
that.
wasn't enough, it was rumoured that Henry Toivonen tested an 800 horsepower version of the S4 at the Estoril circuit in Portugal,
Damn.
lapping within a few seconds of Formula One cars from the period. While
800 horsepower. How the hell did they do that? And did I hear that right? This hatchback was almost keeping up with Formula One cars? Rally cars are absolutely crazy. Group B was crazy. I mean, these things were absolutely wild.
engine performance was important, Abarth also focused on creating a car that was as light as possible.
Dang, that thing hauls ass, huh?
As the Delta S4 was placed in the 2000 to 2500cc class, it could weigh as little as 890 kg. Abarth's engineers went to enormous lengths to keep the Delta's
What a
weight as
cool
close
car.
to this limit as possible. They were one of the first companies in rallying to use computer-aided programs to help work out forces that parts would be subjected to.
Wow, so that was advanced. They had some advanced like telemetry data from computers. That's early, right? Early 80s. That's pretty impressive. May I add, this is cool editing by this channel. I actually really like it. Because aren't we looking at like a die-cast here? We're either looking at like an RC car or a die-cast or a model, like one of the ones you have to build. Either way, it looks really neat. Kind of clever to use in this video. And I think I got to go find one of those. I got to go to some hobby stores and see if I can find one of these.
This
I
meant
like
they
it.
could design the car with thinner carbon Kevlar body panels and smaller diameter tubing that saved an enormous amount of weight. Once the chassis and body was finished, Abarth began testing the car with the twin-charged engine in place. During testing, the car
Look at
was
that.
disguised as a military vehicle to fool onlookers and competitors.
Wow, that's weird. Dang.
After a number of revisions, the S4 was ready to rally. Lancia and Abarth managed to get the Delta S4 homologated just in time for the 1985 RAC Rally,
Cool.
the last event of the season.
Oh, wow.
To do this, they needed to create 200 road-going versions of the S4.
Oh, wow.
Despite being a completely new car, the Delta managed to achieve an incredible 1-2 finish in the capable hands of Toivonen and Markku Alén at its first event.
Came out
For the
swinging,
1986 season, the Delta would be up against the likes of the Audi Quattro, the Ford RS200, and of course the Peugeot 205 T16, the car that dominated the 1985 season.
That's a lineup.
Lancia, Toivonen, and the S4 had a strong start to the year, winning the Monte Carlo Rally just ahead of the Peugeot. Markku Alén and the S4 would then take second at the Swedish Rally, with Peugeot claiming first.
It's so wild they go that fast in the
Portugal
snow, man.
followed,
Like,
but after a terrible accident involving a Ford RS200, Lancia decided to withdraw from the event. While the Delta S4 was a formidable contender, it was not without its problems. The car often had to undergo full rebuilds after each rally,
No way.
and drivers complained that the cabin would get extremely hot due to heat radiating from the engine.
I would not have guessed they would have had to rebuild those after every single rally. I guess it makes sense. I mean, you're squeezing a hell of a lot of power out of a four-cylinder. That would have been a weird driving experience, maybe, yeah? I mean, it seems like a very powerful car, right? You got your hands full, and it gets super hot inside. Ooh, a little sketchy, yeah?
Additionally, in some cases the throttle pedal could even get stuck on the composite floor,
there you
making
go.
it impossible to drive.
So it had some quirks.
Lancia brought back the 037 for the demanding and difficult Safari Rally.
Yeah.
The Delta returned for the Tour de Corse in May, with a number of improvements. Lancia and Abarth put the S4 on an extreme diet, removing as
Even
much
more
weight
weight
as possible to improve performance.
Jeez.
The start of the rally went well for Lancia. Toivonen was crushing the field despite suffering from the flu, and the Delta was working well.
Impressive.
However, things would soon turn disastrous when Toivonen and co-driver Sergio Cresto plunged off the side of the road on the 18th stage.
Oh.
The car exploded within seconds of the crash, and both occupants were killed instantly. The fire from the explosion was so intense that the Delta S4 was unrecognizable as a car following
is that it?
How and why the Delta...
Woo! Oh my goodness. That is not even recognizable. That is terrible.
Delta S4 left the road is still a mystery, but it is known that the explosion was caused by tree branches puncturing the thin aluminium fuel tank.
Yeah.
Lancia had
figured the fuel tank had to be ruptured for that to happen. Kind of wild, right? That they don't know what happened? Wow. That's a shame,
branches puncturing the thin aluminium fuel tank. Lancia had removed the skid plates to reduce weight, leaving the fuel tank more exposed to outside elements.
Wow.
Before the accident, Toivonen had complained that the car was too fast and powerful for a rally like the Tour de Corse. He said, "Today we have driven more than the whole distance of the 1,000 Lakes Rally. After 4 hours of driving, it's hard to keep up with the speed. So, with a modern car like this, it's just impossible to race here. It's physically exhausting and our brains can't keep up with it anymore."
Wow. You know that's an intimidating and very powerful car. When you have you have a pro skilled rally driver saying, "Yeah, this thing's too much." That's crazy, man. That's actually quite sad. Wow.
This terrible accident led to an immediate freeze on the development of Group B rally cars and the disbandment of the series at the end of the 1986 season.
Oh my goodness, man.
Despite the loss of Toivonen and Cresto, Lancia pressed ahead with the 1986 season. The car would claim second at the Acropolis Rally and then
So they ran one more season after that? Is that how that works? And then it was it, yeah?
Second and third in New Zealand.
How scary, though.
The next win came in Argentina, with Miki Biasion taking first and Alén claiming second. Peugeot would strike back at the 1,000 Lakes Rally in Finland.
Now, there's no denying, from what he said earlier, Peugeot must have been very successful, right? Because I'm still learning about this. I don't know who was had the most wins and stuff like that. He made it sound like Peugeot was the most dominant. I have to say, even though winning's winning, the looks department, that I like the Lancias better. I really think they're awesome. not quite a fan of the look of this Peugeot, but you know what? Everything looks better in the winter circle, so clearly got to give that car respect too.
Claiming first and second, while Lancia and Len would have to settle for third. The San Remo Rally in October would prove to be the most controversial event of the season. Organisers disqualified the entire Peugeot team for running illegal side skirts,
Oh wow.
which meant Lancia claimed first, second and third. The RAC Rally was up next, with Peugeot taking first and third, while the S4 had to settle for second. Lancia hit back at the last event of the season, the Olympus Rally, where they claimed first ahead of the 205 and the Quattro, giving Len the driver's title. However, celebrations would be short-lived when Peugeot appealed the decision to be excluded from the San Remo Rally. The FIA would declare Peugeot's cars legal, and all points for the Italian event were cancelled.
Oh wow.
This would hand Peugeot the constructor's title, and Juha Kekkonen would take the driver's title. With the conclusion of the 1986 season, the Delta S4's WRC career was over. A small consolation for Lancia came when the S4 won both the European and Italian rally championships.
Cool.
But the disappointment was still deep.
Yeah.
While Lancia lost out on the 1986 season, the S4 led to the development of the Group A Delta Integrale. The Integrale would go on to become the most successful rally car of all time, solidifying the fact that Lancia is one of the greatest rally car manufacturers ever.
Much respect. Alrighty, that's it for this one. I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts on this. Lancia, I got to give them a round of applause, though. I mean, they make some awesome rally cars, especially in this era. So I'll say this. For some reason, I've always loved hot hatches, especially when I was younger, but, you know, I still like them now. And I think it would be really fun to have one of the road-going Lancia Delta Integrale Evos, like the hatchback, the one that came after this. So that would be fun to have as a road car. I think that'd be a blast. One of the best hot hatches ever, right? But for rally car trim and full-on race spec here, I actually have to say I think this car is cooler. The Delta S4 is pretty wicked. Now, it seems to be the case of this car developed quite a reputation and got famous, but it was very quick. I mean, this was only around basically for 2 years, like if that. Like it had a very short stint, but it made an impact, if that makes sense. Group B, just always fascinating. So much to learn about rally as a whole. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Like I said, which Lancia do you like better? Or do you like something else way better than these? I would love to hear your thoughts on there and suggestions, things like that. Please throw a like on there if you enjoyed it and subscribe to join this amazing community. Check the description out and check this channel out. That was very, very cool work on this video. And with that being said, y'all, my name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. And until next time, catch you later.